And welcome everyone to week 4 of the Coalition League's Spring Split. I'm Random Minion Caster and alongside me is Luna for Game 1. How are you doing, Luna?
Full. Just got done with dinner.
Perfect timing. And Game 1 will be Vengeful Reapers versus Shadow Keepers. And it looks like they've actually already started up the pro draft here. So we're just going to hit right into that first. And it looks like Vengeful Reapers will be on the blue side, Shadow Keepers on the right side or red side here. Vengeful Reapers starting out with a Warwick ban, a Nocturne ban, and a Wukong ban, while Shadow Keepers have started with an Oriana Leona and are now looking for their third ban.
All right, some interesting bands so far. Looking like they're just hard trading Shadowkeeper's jungler right there.
Yeah, and Shadow Keeper's last ban will be a Thresh there, so one mid ban in the Ori and two support bans on the side of Shadow Keepers, answering the three jungle bans from Vengeful Reapers here. And Vengeful Reapers will first pick Caitlyn for their ADC Imagines.
All right, pretty standard pick. Caitlyn's still pretty strong right now. She has one of the best ranges in the game, so I mean, well, why not pick her if she's an option, right?
Yeah, and it's very strong early. It's good late game insurance as well, so definitely a solid first pick to deny the other side. And for Shadow Keepers here, they're first picking an Echo, which could potentially go into the mid lane. Shadow Keepers is using a different mid laner this week. El Pels is it will be his first week in the league here. He is a bit of an aggressive player, likes to pick these sort of assassin picks, so that Echo pick could very well go mid lane or jungle. And the second pick for Shadow Keepers there, Misfortune for Louisville Gent.
Yeah, Misfortune being one of the strongest ADCs currently in the meta. I'm actually kind of surprised that she got left up by both teams. So I'm not sure. I think we've seen Imagine on MF. So I'm kind of surprised that they did just first grab her if Imagine does play her. So we'll have to see how things turn out.
Yeah, and I guess perhaps they had a different sort of composition in mind. Vengeful Reapers last week not really favoring that sort of AoE composition that a lot of other teams here in Coalition League have seemed to favor also much. And their second pick for Vengeful Reapers here will be a Ziggs, most likely a mid laner as Caitlyn's already been picked for that bot lane, and Alawi in the top lane there for True Hero.
That Alawi can be a terrifying pick if you are skilled with her. That or, if you just get a clutch ultimate with Alawi in a team fight,
Oh,
adds a lot of damage and a lot of healing for
sorry,
her.
it looks like that was a mistake on the side of Vengeful Reapers. It's not an Alawi, looks like it's actually a Nautilus. Apologies. So that will be a Nautilus support here. And we'll have to see on the side of Shadow Keepers, because they did pick a Cho'Gath, and that might have been in response to the Alawi there. So
Potentially. If it's not in response to Alawi, that Cho'Gath is a very large flex because although it's not very common, Cho can be played support. He goes well in either mid or top.
right, though I don't know if Alpels plays Cho'Gath. I mean, there are certain players here in the league who who do play Cho'Gath mid. Phantom X of DOV coming to mind here. He does first pick that Cho'Gath mid, but looks like indeed they are looking to just reset that. That Cho'Gath was meant to be a counter to the Alawi. So yeah, so
Okay.
they will be resetting the pro draft here. Unfortunately, pro draft, as useful a tool as it is known to bug up from time to time. So yeah, it looks like that is unfortunately what's happening here.
Okay. Well, at least we're able to get things sorted out now before we get too much farther in.
Right. And yeah. So they will. It looks like what the teams have decided is that they will run the same bands up to that Nautilus pick. So everything's the same up except for that Cho'Gath. It looks like will be the case here.
Okay, that's fair. And then past that, the bands will be different, I assume.
Yes. So the bands which were registered will not be accurate for the second band
Oh,
phase. But that things happen, and that's fine. We will just work around that. And just speaking of the league in general, we're now into week 4 of the league here of the round robin. So that's the second last week, and teams will be facing off here. Now, the top 3 positions have basically kind of been locked in here. You've got MG Blaze completely undefeated. Rampage mostly undefeated at this point. I think only dropping 1 game to Blaze thus far. And then DOV, last 2 weeks, they're 6-0 so far in the last 2 weeks here. So they've been doing great work. And that means that there's 4th place, which is a little more crowded, shall we say, in terms of the amount of teams competing for that spot here. I believe every team at this point in time still has the possibility of clinching for a spot, except for Vengeful Reapers, who joined the league about halfway through.
yeah, yeah. That 4th place spot is. Is it weird to say that it's kind of coveted right now, since the other 3 are kind of locked as it is? It just sounds weird. And now the coveted 4th place spot. Who's going to get it?
Right, and if we look at this game here, this game's actually kind of important. Shadowkeepers has revamped their roster last week, adding quite a few people, changing it up a little bit. So they had a really good performance last week. They had to face off against a strong team there, but they did manage to take a win off of the 4th place C2. So they're definitely still in the game here. While on the other side, Vengeful Reapers is a brand new team here. So but they put up a really good fight. So I mean, they could definitely still come roaring back, and even if they can't clinch 4th seed, they can still mess up everybody else's day for trying to clinch 4th seed. And looks like they're back into the pro draft. They've fixed it, and we've restarted that, so the bans should still be the same. We should still see the same bans coming out, and the first couple of picks should also be the same. Yep, so we see the Warwick, Nocturne, Wukong coming out, Vengeful Reapers again, Shadowkeepers banning out Ori, Leo, and that should be a Thresh ban.
I believe those are Thresh ban. Yeah.
There we go. The Caitlyn first pick again, and then the Echo MF should be what we see coming out. And honestly, for this particular match, I am expecting a bit more of a closer match than what we've seen in some other games here. It's not exactly a top-of-the-table team versus bottom-of-the-table team. Both teams here have shown themselves to be pretty decent teams. SK's new roster, as I was saying, did take a win off the 4th place. And Vengeful Reaper went 0-3 last week, but they were up against the 1st place MG Blaze as well as the 3rd place DOV Nightfall, and they did pretty well in those games. So I am looking forward to an exciting game here between these 2 teams.
Yeah, a lot of the games last week were they were actually a lot better than I was anticipating them being. I was happily surprised.
Definitely, I think teams are getting more used to the league and the teams that they have to face. After all, this will now be the second time they're facing a lot of these teams here, so they'll have a better idea. Though rosters have changed across quite a few teams here, so it might not be exactly the same as what they faced in their first round. The last pick of round 1 from Shadowkeepers here will be Morgana, most likely a support there, and they will follow that up with a Silas ban for phase 2.
Okay, so right now it's looking like they're I guess they also agreed that perhaps anything past the accidental picks they're keeping, because these are certain. Okay, they didn't pick the last 2 bands last time.
Right, so
Like
they
the last band for each team.
yeah, so Shadowkeepers went with a Silas and an Olaf ban. The Olaf wasn't what they did last round, but That's just perfectly allowed. Anything after the error there can be completely redone. And we see a Blitzcrank ban on the side of Vengeful Reapers here, which is interesting considering there's already been a Morgana picked on Shadowkeepers, and the last ban of the game will be a Mumu.
Yeah, that makes me think that they haven't scouted out the new mid laner for Shadowkeepers. Since like you stated earlier, he seems to be more of an assassin player. Any other team that could be a more mid flex. So at that point, I could understand banning the Blitzcrank because it could be Echo Jungle with a more mid.
Yeah, definitely. But with this, we can confirm it will be an Echo mid, a Morgana support as Shadowkeepers locks in a J4 for their jungle, and we've got Vengeful Reapers here picking a Sejuani to match that Jarvan and a Fiora top lane, so probably like a split push top lane. Shadowkeepers going with a Maokai into that Fiora.
That's an interesting matchup. I'm not sure who actually wins that matchup because I know Fiora has a good amount of sustain, and her riposte can really be an issue for Maokai potentially, but Maokai himself has a lot of sustain. Uh, and it looks like Shadowkeepers is just going for a decent CC block comp with the J4 Maokai Morg, and then just having Echo and MF to toss out a bunch of bursts.
Yes.
Whereas Vengeful, um, it looks like it's a pick comp, maybe potentially it's probably going to be a 1-3-1 with their core being Caitlyn, Nautilus, and Sedge, and then Ziggs and Fiora on the side lanes.
Definitely, and Ziggs is really good at taking turrets as well. The Satchel Charge able to explode turrets which are below quarter health. He picks up a Lich Bane. He can be a bit of that split push menace there, and that is in line with what we've seen of the teams thus far. Shadowkeeper, a more traditional team, often going for team compositions which allow the team to work well together, like snowball AoE sort of compositions, and that's what they seem to have drafted here. Vengeful, on the other hand, often picking strong individual lanes or compositions that might not synergize together all that well initially, but very capable of split pushing. And that's one thing that I think I'm a bit surprised that Shadowkeepers did run the Maokai into Fiora, because I'm just looking at this and wondering who they're going to send to match a Fiora split push in the mid to late game here.
The only thing I can think of is Maokai is just looking to try to freeze lane as long as he can because of how tanky he can get. So the longer he can stall Fiora from getting turrets, the better. Um, that or it might be the option of having Maokai answer Ziggs, and then maybe tossing something like Jarvan or Echo to deal with Fiora.
True. Echo would be able to hopefully maybe match that Fiora split push. J4 I think would be a little risky. Fiora is an absolute monster late game. One of the best duelists in the game, and with the current state of the top lane meta, a lot of top laners are going that sort of split push, Berserker Greaves, Blade of the Ruin King, Sanguine Blade sort of build, where they punish the sort of tankier top laners who teleport away to help in a team fight by just taking turrets the moment they're left unattended, and late game they just split push their way to victory there. So in a way, Vengeful's top laner does match the current solo queue meta more closely here.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And when it comes to actually I don't think that necessarily either team wants to go for a full blown team fight if they can avoid it. I would say that Vengeful has the better initiate option with Sejuani. Because I mean J4 he can go in, but I mean you're not going to be able to cataclysm all five people. Not realistically. I mean you can try, and if you get it, well, good job. You got the ones in the blue moon 5-man cataclysm, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Uh, Now Shower Keepers they have a really good disengage comp, with the Morg and the Maokai. So, because with Vengeful, they have the Nautilus, but ideally you'd want to save that for either a disengage or a counter engage.
Right, his ultimate is a very slow moving one there, so you can actually just walk away from it, and we'll have to see how this goes. We will be taking a short intermission break here as teams are loading onto the Rift, so we'll see you guys back in a couple of minutes here. And we're back on Summoner's Rift here, with both teams loading on the map, and it looks like on the side of Vengeful Reapers, they might be going for that level 1 invade, a very rare sight here in the Coalition League.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's a good call. They have the Nautilus hook.
The flash coming out of Jade Delian there will force the flash out of Louisville Gent, and flash from the support for an ADC.
Yeah, it's definitely a respect flash out of Louisville there. But with Vengeful's comp, they have a very strong invade comp. They have 3 melee range champs to proc Sejuani passive. They have Nautilus with his hook and his passive. And then they have Ziggs and Caitlyn for huge damage. Like, it was a good call.
Definitely, and we'll see how that plays out into the game here. Looks like both junglers starting on the bottom side of the map, and Shadow Keepers here getting a good deep vision onto the top side of Vengeful Reaper's jungle. Will be able to spot out Jason KB as he roams around the map here. And Jason in his games last week was a huge force on the side of Vengeful Reapers, especially in the early game, getting some really good ganks off, especially on that jungle Poppy that we don't normally see in solo queue. So I'm looking forward to see how we can impact the lanes here. But Jadelian landing a beautiful hook onto Non-Stop Brain. Non-Stop Brain being taken down to less than 20% health there.
Yeah, that's huge damage. Morg can be considered a counter for Nautilus, but at the same time, Nautilus has so many CC options that, I mean, Morg's Black Shield will only last for so long. And, I mean, she's not going to take it till level 2 or 3 anyways.
And not only is she not going to take it till then, but it does nothing against the physical punishment that Imagines is laying down here. Imagines getting a ton of free auto attacks onto Non-Stop Brain there will continue to keep him low. Non-Stop Brain having used all his pots now, only has the biscuits left mid lane. Alpel is getting aggressive there, won't be able to, will take more damage I think than he put out himself in the mid lane there. And now Non-Stop Brain landing a hook onto Jadelian, but he's tanky enough that it doesn't really make that big of a dent on his health bar.
That's, ooh, good flash, good flash.
Jason KB making his presence known early as he likes to do there, forcing the flash out of L Pels, and he said good flash to keep him alive. If he had gotten caught there, he might not have survived the burst that Ziggs can put out, as well as if the Sejuani could get a stun down in that time.
And while we was looking at bot lane, it looked like Jason was contesting J4 at J4's red buff earlier. We can see some deep wards in Shadowkeeper's jungle there, so...
And mid lane action going down, a flash from Fezifez to try and keep himself alive as Alpels goes in, gets the ignite down, but Fezifez is now out of mana. He has to be careful. Took barrier in lane, so he should be able to survive, but if he does base, he'll have to walk back into lane here.
Yeah, but as you said, we got an ignite out of Alpaz, so that means he doesn't have teleport to get back in the lane either.
Right, so both of them will just have to farm it up and play a bit of a game of chicken here to see who ends up going down. They're both fairly low and can be comboed down. That being said, Fezifez has been slowly healing up through his pots. Alpez, no more stacks left on that corrupting potion, but still has biscuits, so we'll be able to regen some in lane here. Across the lanes here, very even thus far. Top lane, pretty even in CS and farm there. Not necessarily what Maokai was hoping for, but he'll have to be careful as Fiora does skill up quite a bit. Bot lane, Jason looking for another gank here. Jadelian looking to land a hook, but a flash from Non-Stop Brain will keep himself alive for now. GTH is waiting in the wings here, looking to see if he can possibly get a counter gank or a gank off as he sneaks into that bush in the bot lane. He has made sure there are no wards there, so on the side of Vengeful Reapers, they will not know that GTH has snuck into that bush.
Yeah, it was that's definitely a very good ward placement by Non-Stop to see Jason come in from the tri bush there.
Yeah, that very deep vision. They had it up top and now they have it down bot, and I really like the fact that they get that deep vision there. But on the side of Shadow Keepers, with that deep vision, they know that they know where Jason KB is. They've seen basically that he's around that tri-bush and have decided to just go straight for that first Drake of the game at 5 minutes 40 seconds. Early Ocean Drake going over to the side of Shadow Keepers.
Yeah, it's going to be very helpful for everyone on Shadow Keepers. Everyone on their team. Well, I'm not too sure about J4, but everyone else, they can eat up mana pretty quickly. So getting that early Ocean Drake is going to pay off huge.
For sure, and Jadelian getting a hook onto Louisville for a change, not the Morgana. Black Shield will keep her safe though, they'll just take a bit of poke there. But so far, Vengeful Reapers bot lane able to get that lane dominance, and it's starting to show a little bit in the CS as well, as they're up about a wave here. Jadelian not afraid to throw out those hooks, doesn't care if he misses because it still gets the pressure down in that bot lane. And in the top lane here, somehow True Hero falling into a bit of a deficit. Looks like he went back to base and picked up some of his items here, looking like he's might build into the Tiamat, possibly going with the double longsword and the rejuve bead. Meanwhile, Rinks on the Maokai has gone back to base as well. He used the teleport earlier, so he will have to walk back this time to lane, while True Hero still holds onto his teleport, so we'll be able to teleport and influence the rest of the map here. We'll pick up a Balmy Cinder on the side of Rinks, so we'll give him a bit more sustain against True Hero, as well as damage when he lands those CCs, which Maokai has in spades here.
Right, because of how Maokai's kit is set up, he's got a bit more wave clear options than what Fiora does, since all of Fiora's stuff is mostly single target.
Yeah, and she will be wanting to have that single target, focusing on trying to split push there, wanting the 1v1 as much as possible. When Fiora, she's now level 7 with her ultimate, she can 1v2, so GTH will have to be careful when ganking that lane there, as Fiora can output a lot of damage in a very short period of time. Rinks taking a lot of damage from minions here. There's a big wave on True Hero, but he will have some sustain, will be able to sustain himself back up to safety there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he meant to go in on her with that Twisted Bramble there or not, or just in advance.
Yeah, and the other thing too, you know, with Fiora, she does have the riposte as well, so any CC that takes a bit of time to apply, she can riposte out of that quite effectively, and we did see that when he Twisted Advanced onto her, where she managed to block the damage there of it.
Right. I think right now the best way for Rinks to get an advantage is if he can bait her into his saplings for the percentile health damage.
Yeah, and we do see Rinks putting saplings into that bush there, and True Hero being very careful to avoid stepping near those bushes at this point in time. And he goes in again, getting lots of damage up. Now, True Hero taking the worst of this trade here. Rinks does get some damage as the fight goes on, but will probably be able to heal himself back up. The passive almost up there for him. Bot lane now, we see Jason KB trying to clear wards against Non-Stop Brain. Non-Stop Brain will have to be a bit careful there. He's a bit isolated. Mid lane is having their own fight though, so neither of them will be able to go down. Fezifest throwing out the Ziggs out, but will not connect on anything as Alpaz just dashes away.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he meant to toss that ult there, because that was on like maybe 2 minions, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably expecting an engage from Alpaz, maybe.
Possibly.
We see the teleport coming out in the top lane from True Hero there. Real clear that ward, but he has to be careful. GTH in the area, the sapling slowing him down there, but it looks like on the side of Shadow Keepers, they will just walk out. They do have vision of the shadows of True Hero there. Flag and Drag will not quite connect onto True Hero, and True Hero will be able to go to safety there. And I believe that is one of the first ganks we've seen this game actually going off here.
Wow, that is a lot of damage. Caitlyn Foley.
The traps and the headshot doing lots of damage onto Non-Stop Brain. It's been the story of that bot lane there. Morgana can't Black Shield that damage, and so she's taking a lot of poke from Imagine's Caitlyn. dragon will be coming up in about 20 seconds here. It will be Mountain Drake. Top lane, True Hero using the ultimate there, the Grand Challenge, but a flash from Rinks will keep him safe. Flash for an ultimate is a good trade on the side of True Hero.
Yeah, that's Rinks definitely being like, I'm going to respect the ult, and I'm just going to back off.
Well, back off, we said, but it's actually going to invade onto DTH, and the first blood will come down from the top lane onto the jungle. True Hero going into that red buff, and I believe that was blind too. They didn't even have a ward in the area there. They just, I guess, gut instinct felt like the jungler might be there, goes in and bursts GTH down with a 3-level lead.
Well, they do have a ton of vision on the side of Vengeful. So they might have had a ward over at GTH's blue and saw him take blue buff. And like, okay, so he's there. He's probably going to rotate to red so I can catch him there.
Yeah, and if they did, that was certainly a good call there. And having taken GTH down, they knew that the jungler for Shadow Keepers was not available. And so they instantly rotated right over to pick up that second Drake of the game, the Mountain Drake, for the side of Vengeful Reapers. The priority they have in the bottom lane is making it so easy for them to get those dragons if they're aware that they're being taken.
Right, and with the deep mount, that's actually really huge for both the Sejuani and Nautilus. I mean, they're already huge tanks as it is.
Yeah, Nautilus is already abusing the bot lane. Will land the hook onto Louisville Jet. They get the stun as well, and will get immediately bursted down. The Black Shield just got popped by the Riptide there from Jadelian, so it did not manage to stop the follow-up stun. And now they're diving that turret. A good ultimate from Non-Stop Brain, but will be enough. The flash will keep him alive, but the heal from Imagines keeps him healthy, and they will successfully dive 2 for 0 in the bot lane. Double kill over to Imagines.
Yeah, that's some great communication there with Caitlyn stepping up to pop the heal. And that's kind of... Oh, wait.
And mid lane, a gank coming down onto Alpez there. We see the dash, we see the chrono break, we see the flash. Everything used to get him out, but GTH manages to get there. The time has been bought. Jason KB now, but the one has to be careful. A little low, but a turnaround Cataclysm onto Fezzy Fez. A flash will get him out of that dueling Coliseum there. And now it's GTH who has to be careful. The damage coming down will be enough. No, he's barely surviving, but the bomb will pick him up. Now the barrier to keep Fezzy Fez alive. The Ignite is ticking, and Fezzy Fez will use the stopwatch to keep himself alive. Perfect play on the side of Vengeful Reapers to get that 1 for 0 kill. And True Hero now, the fight ain't done for him yet. Roaming down from the top lane, the dash count from Alpez, but True Hero doesn't want to go into that quite yet. Will just back out there. Alpez able to survive 1 for 0 after all that action in the mid lane.
Man, Vengeful are playing out of their minds right now. That was super good. Like, holy, like, what even, this is like what we were seeing last week, and it's been even more refined, I feel.
Yeah, the individual mechanical outlanes in the lane, it's almost like, I feel like they're playing kind of similar to Rampage, where they are just trying to win the lane and then transition those leads from the lane. A lot of mechanical prowess coming out of Vengeful Reaper. I've got to say, it's been working so far. Last week they took MG Blaze to 30+ minute games there. A lot of it just in mechanical skill. And this game, we're seeing the individual leads pay off in the lanes here. In the top lane, Fiora is pretty even in CS. And gold, actually, the roaming there is costing her a little bit of pressure onto Rinks. In the jungle, a 300 gold lead from Jason KB, primarily just off being able to farm his jungle more frequently. In the mid lane, an 800 gold lead onto Fezzy Fez there. Just CS lead, basically, from the pressure. And the bot lane, big discrepancy again. 1,000 gold up for the ADC and about a 600 gold lead for the supports. So just superior laning across the board here, it looks like.
Yeah, ooh,
Oh,
hello.
but now we see Jadelian getting caught here by Dark. Finally, the bullet time comes across. Will be able to pick him up, but GTH does not have enough health and will instead go down. Now, Non-Stop Brain getting caught out there. Does not have the black shoot available. Used it earlier. Will go down to the bomb from Fezzy Fez. Now, Louisville Gent trying to flash to safety, but a long-range shot and a flash out and a follow-up from Jason KB will be able to pick him up, but the action isn't done yet because top lane of fight is breaking out as well. True Hero going down to Rinks in the 1v1 there. The Maokai tank able to take out the duelist who usually specializes at that 1v1 but doesn't quite have her items yet. Tiamat and Asheen looking like she's trying to build into a Triforce but not quite there yet. The Sunfire Cape is enough to take down True Hero.
Yeah, that's definitely the one disadvantage if you're roaming so much is she's not really ahead of him at this point because of the form deficiency she has. They both have a kill on each other, or they have a kill at least because Maokai has yet to die this game.
And top lane, GGH had picked up the Herald earlier and decided to drop it into the top lane. Bot lane, what on earth happened there? We just looked down and Louisville was getting ace in the hold, ended up going down, and I didn't get a good view of what happened there. It looked a bit like a 1v1. Top lane, True Hero was chasing. Rings did TP back to lane, but everybody's there. GTH roams up, Pels roams up, and True Hero will end up going down there. Now bot lane, we have 1v1 support combat here. The exhaust comes out from Non-Stop Brain to keep himself alive, just barely. The exhaust from Jadelian to try and chase, but Non-Stop Brain will be able to walk to safety. But that is still one turret down a piece. For the side of Shadowkeepers, they did manage to get the top lane, and Shelly will be able to get damage off. They might even be able to get a second turret here on the side of Vengeful Reapers. They get the bot lane turret and the mid lane turret from all the pressure, as well as their second Drake of the game, Cloud Drake.
Man, this game got intense very fast. Like, at first it's like, yeah, okay, it's just your standard, let's farm, be nice to each other. And then all of a sudden, everyone's just out for blood.
Yeah, both teams didn't really want that early game pressure. I guess they had certain spike points they wanted to hit there in terms of items and levels, but once it hit, boy, did they go at it. That's 11 kills, I think, almost all in the last 5 to 10 minutes there. Absolutely brutal. And while that was happening, Shadowkeepers did manage to get a tier 2 turret in the top lane to even the turret score here. So they're about 3,000 gold apart at 17 minutes here.
Yeah, this is I don't have words. I have no words right now. This is great.
Well, it's a fun, exciting game to watch here. The root landing onto Jason KB, but he will be able to dash away here. Besides, Louisville Gent didn't want any piece of that. They've rotated True Hero down into the bot lane here, and they've sent their bot lane on the side of Vengeful Reapers to the mid lane. So we see Imagines and Jadelian with their gold lead in the mid lane to try and pressure that here. Pels will have to be careful, but it looks like everybody's just going to slowly rotate into the mid lane. They don't want to see that 2v1 happen there, and they want that team fight on the side of Shadowkeepers.
Right. Now, I do like the decision here by Vengeful to send Ziggs to the top lane, just because Ziggs has so much wave clear on his own that he can let that wave build up and be able to deal with it quickly. And that also gives True Hero a chance to deal with the other lanes.
And it looks like Ring starting off a fight here. Will Twisted advances to Jason KB, but Jason KB's attacked. He's really tanky. Louisville has to be careful, but it's Non-Stop Brain who ends up taking the Glacial Prison in his place. Now the Maokai ultimate comes across. We'll get a beautiful ultimate to lead into the bullet time. Nobody going down to the bullet time, but Fezzy Fez will manage to sneak a kill onto Non-Stop Brain. Will go down in exchange for that kill. And in the backline, Jason KB and GTH just dueling out. GTH taking the better of that fight. It's currently a 3-for-2 right now in the favor of Shadowkeepers, but they have to be careful. True Hero and Imagines are both damage threats and can turn the fight, but they will be able to force True Hero out. The ace in the hole comes up, but will be body blocked by Pels here, and it looks like they will claim their prize in the shape of Herald.
Yeah, and that's
oh, but we're not done yet. Imagine's trying to stop the Herald take. Will be Twisted advanced onto instead and instantly burst down by GTH and Pels backing up Rinks.
Wow. Alright. So, there's a lot to take into that fight. It looked like that Shadow Keepers, they're just trying to get out. They're like, okay, no, this is bad. And then, exactly what I was saying earlier, the counter engage by Maokai was huge for that fight. It set up a beautiful bullet time. They're able to get picks on carries, and then right there, they even got a bait onto Imagines. Like that was well played across the board.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge for them there. That ultimate, the bullet time caught True Hero and Fezzy Fez there and basically kind of forced them out to fight. But we have to note that despite Imagines going down there for going in 1v3, he has successfully completed his mission, as he did manage to stall out Shadow Keepers long enough that they could not get Shelly before Baron spawned. So after that huge fight, they did not manage to get the objective there. Now, possible fight breakout in the jungle of Shadow Keeper's blue side here. Non-stop Brain once again getting very low, as he did get hooked by Jadelian, but looks like both teams will reset. The next Drake will be coming up in 1 minute here, so it looks like on the side of Vengeful Reapers they will get some vision down, but that's all they can really get on this side of the map after that win in that little skirmish there.
Right, and so while Shadow Keepers has the great counter engage option with the Maokai ult, right now I'd still give the edge to Vengeful because they already have one Cloud Drake under their belt, so their ultimates are going to be up way faster than Shadow Keepers.
Right, and we'll have to see how that plays out, because right now it's been Shadow Keeper's ultimates which have been making the big moves in these team fights here. On the side of Vengeful Reapers, they do have some big ultimates, but I'm not sure they want those team fights. They're probably more looking for catches with those ultimates, and we'll have to see how that goes here. Rinks in that bush. There is no vision in the bush there, but they knew he was there from the ward behind the wall. Will just clear them out. Drake is now up. That's the second Cloud Drake here, and both teams want it. True Hero is split pushing the top lane and will have teleport available. Well, Rinks is already here, so we'll have to see if his being there early will make a difference. It doesn't look like it will, as Vengeful Reapers manages to take down that Drake before Shadow Keepers is in position to contest for it. So that's third soul point to Vengeful Reapers.
Yeah, like Shadow Keepers, they're being perhaps a bit too respectful and not wanting to go in. They didn't pull the trigger fast enough.
And for that hesitation, they might be punished not only with the loss of a dragon, but a top lane turret take as well. And with that, all the outer turrets on the side of Shadow Keepers have been taken down.
Yeah, so right now it's definitely it's hard to say who's in the lead. I mean, Vengeful Reapers, they have more objectives. And I mean, they have a little bit of a gold lead, but it's not like that outstanding. And like on the one hand, Shadow Keepers has both the outer and inner turret and top lane taken out, but Vengeful, they have all the tier 1s, so it's just the options to push there are very unique in this case.
Right, and though, as we're talking about that, the most unfortunate blue handover just occurred. Fezzy Fez failed to secure his own blue, ended up giving over to Jason KB. Yeah, he just walked away a little too early, a little too confident in his damage, so Ziggs will not have blue buff for this next fight here for the poke, and that's really unfortunate for Ziggs, because he can get a lot of poke and wave clear out, but it does drain his mana when he does it very quickly. So unfortunate there for him. Right now, the Baron is up on the map, Dragon is down, so there is a mutual objective, and as you said, having the inhibitors in the top lane being down and only those two on the side of Vengeful Reapers is kind of a weird situation here, as they're afraid to push in. Fiora would be more than happy to pick that up, but it looks like they've sent Ziggs up there to farm that wave. He does not have teleport, but his ultimate can assist in team fights even when he's on the other side of the map right now. Fiora now split pushing the bot lane here, and so far we said in the pregame that Maokai, would have a rough time doing the 1v1 split with Fiora, but so far in the game looks like that hasn't been the case. Now, Jason KB potentially getting caught up by El Paz while Jdelian went after non-stop brain. It looks like neither team will get what they wanted and what they chased and ended up just backing off there.
Yeah, that was a good respect call by both teams, but just like they realized that both teams are not in a position that they want to be in, so it's just better to reset.
Yeah, and honestly, I think they might have been a little split there on the call. Not sure who they should be going for. Hook from Nautilus, but a good Dark Binding to make sure that Nautilus cannot engage anymore after that. And it looks like we're still in a bit of a stalemate here. And we saw this situation at the beginning of the game where not a lot of kills were happening, not a lot of fights were happening, a lot of posturing, positioning. And the last time it ended up breaking open with like 10 kills straight. So we'll have to see if that happens again here. Both teams setting up, playing respectfully, as you said. And hopefully it will result in a bloodbath soon.
Right. So, with Ziggs being one to get all that farm, he's definitely getting his items online. Like, he has Eludens already, he's had that for a while. He has a Death Cap completed now, and it looks like he'll be going for Azonia's next. And I mean, like, if Ziggs is able to get an ult on top of an ult from Jason, like, that will probably be a kill or two.
Definitely, and the Morgana at this point, her Black Shield is not really enough to stop that damage. So if you do get hit by any CC there, it won't be able to stop the damage coming out from Ziggs. It's been working so far just to stop the follow-up from Nautilus pretty decently, but Louisville has been having problems with his position thus far. 1-4 and 2 the scoreline there for Louisville, so he'll have to be careful going forward. And as the game has been going on, the Drake will be coming about 10 seconds here. It looks like both teams want that Drake a lot. Jdelian getting caught up by a twisted advance. He's got Fezzy Fez just putting out poke and damage here, but oh, and as we say positioning, Louisville getting caught up by a hook will be able to flash to safety here. And now Jdelian, the one getting poked out, lots of damage, will go down to El Paz, who still has his chrono bake. But True Hero split pushing that top lane will take down the tier 2 turret in the top here, and it looks like El Paz is thinking of basing to go match that, but no, Vengeful Reapers is trying to stop the back, so they're just outputting damage. The flag and drag coming down will not catch Imagines, instead take lots of damage for it, and Jason somehow managing to survive in the midst of all of that, and their success rate to laying the back. True Hero got the inhib turret down, he's getting the inhib, now El Paz is back, but can they take the Dragon when they're all so low here? Ring's still very healthy, but everyone else there very, very low on health. I'm not sure this is the fight they want. Jdelian has base, is running to Dragon as fast as he can here, but a beautiful Dark Binding will catch onto Imagines here. Imagines going down, but a bomb from Fezzy Fez. It was long enough that his ult came back up, managed to pick up Louisville Gent instead. So we've exchanged the ADCs 1-for-1. True Hero getting a teleport now has rejoined the fight here. GTH will have to flash to safety, but the Glacial Prison will land. Now it's only Rings. They will get the turnaround kill. Or no, sorry, they didn't quite get the turnaround kill. So we just see GTH going down there. Now they get the turnaround kill. Jason going down. El Paz is doing a lot of damage. Diving the turret for True Hero will successfully pick it up and chrono break himself to safety. The extended fight, the bloodbath that we were waiting for, is happening now, and the Dragon has survived all of this. Everybody seems to have left it alone, forgotten about it as the junglers are down. Instead, El Paz and Rings looking to try and get a kill here in the bot lane. Fezzy Fez getting doled, doesn't have the stopwatch this time. And Rings just tanking that turret for days, does not care here. Jdelian is getting some good CC down, but it's not enough. The turret cannot take down Rings. Ace in the hole coming out will find El Paz to do some damage, but looks like Shadow Keepers will finally be able to rotate to Dragon in peace here.
That was a lot to unpack. The one thing that I would like to point out in that is there's a point where at least 3 or 4 of Shadow Keepers were well below half health, and Jason had his ult up, and Ziggs was in the area. So I'm surprised that he didn't just toss the ult then and just try to take a few people out, like, right then. that was an interesting call. I mean, they don't take they don't lose anything necessarily because they did get that top inhib. But I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. It's an interesting play.
Yeah, and for that they will lose the Cloud Drake there, which will go over to the side of Shadow Keepers here. Baron is still up right now, and looks like both teams are looking for that Baron. And one thing I want to point out is Rinks is 4-0-7. He hasn't died at all this game. Oh, and we see the bot lane duo of Nonstop Brain and Louisville living just barely. They got almost killed there. A lot of damage coming out to them, and that was a 3v4 in the top side, where Shadow Keepers were just forced off by Vengeful Reapers. As we see Jadelian and True Hero in that bot side trying to take that turret, but Rinks so tanky, just managing to 1v2 under his turret there, completely ignoring the damage that the other two are putting out. He's got his Abyssal Mask, got his Sunfire Cape, and looks like he's building into a Thornmill now, so True Hero is going to have problems dealing with that. But GTH now getting caught out here will be able to flag and drag himself to safety.
Right, it'll get to the point where really the only person that might be able to deal with Rinks is Ziggs, and that's even going to be questionable at this point.
And the anchor onto Rinks there. I'm not sure that's the target they wanted to find. Both sides will just back off of that. Nautilus is tanky, Rinks is tanky. You know, neither of them really able to get much damage onto each other. And now it looks like the Vengeful Reapers have set their eyes on that mid lane turret here. Will use the Ziggs out, will not hit Nonstop Brain. Nonstop Brain will be able to survive. I feel like every time we see Nonstop Brain, he's running away right now. He's not really able to survive the burst getting put out by Ziggs, by Caitlyn. The poke is just forcing him out over and over, and they will successfully siege and take that tier 2 turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, if
and they will get the tier 2 here with the Satchel Charge. It looks like perfect, just barely managed to pick that up. So that's all the tier 2s down now on the side of Shadow Keepers. Vengeful Reapers up 7 turrets, have the top lane cracked open, and are looking to continue applying pressure on the map.
As I was saying, if there's anyone that Vengeful wants to try to get caught out, it's going to be Louisville or Nonstop Brain. Just because, Brain has been able to put out some damage, but they are also still really far behind with the score of 1-5-4. And then you got Nonstop Brain, who's unfortunately at 0-4-5, just not being able to do much anything except for barely being able to keep some of his teammates alive occasionally.
Right, and I guess it's kind of showing on his levels too. He's level 13, which is significantly lower than anybody on his team, but Jadelian too is actually only level 11 there as well. And yeah, you know, he's not really able to get in there and get the Morgana ultimate off. So far his contributions have been mostly, as you've said, the Black Shields to keep his teammate alive, and the bindings here, but the bindings have been mostly hitting the tanks, which is well played by the side of Vengeful Reapers. So we'll have to see what they're going to do at this point. The inhib has respawned on the side of Shadow Keepers here, so Vengeful will no longer have that top lane pushing into them. The Baron is up, the Dragon will be coming up 1 minute, and that will be Soul Drake on the side of Vengeful Reapers if they can get it, which means they'll be able to rotate that much faster here.
Now, the question is, does Shadow Keepers go to prevent Soul Point, or do they immediately go for Baron when Vengeful goes for Soul Point? And when that does happen, does Fiora commit for another split push? Because she does have teleport up right now, and top lane is pushing them.
And it looks like Vengeful tried to set up a death push, but they are the ones on the short end of this particular stick. All of Shadow Keepers showed up to that death push there. That was very unfortunate because Shadow Keepers wants to group and roam together as a team. So the question becomes moot at this point as Dragon is spawning in 10 seconds and Vengeful is down a player. True Hero going to that top lane, looking to make that trade once again in the top lane. Nonstop Brain taking another bomb to the face, very, very low. Louisville Gen also very low. We'll have to be careful when they try and take this Drake here, as all of Vengeful Reapers are looking to try and zone them off.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the Nautilus got caught out, yeah, but it's just like, Ziggs, his Q's are doing so much damage, even to Maokai. Like, I mean, a Maokai that's almost at full build and being able to do that much damage to him is pretty impressive.
And I'm not sure they wanted to start that up there. Looking like Shadowkeeper is able to pick up the dragon that was started by Vengeful Reapers, and it will go over to Shadowkeeper. Shadowkeeper's also now at Soul Point. Nyx Drake will be extremely interesting if we get to that point. It'll be about 5 minutes away here. 3 Drakes apiece. It'll be Soul for whoever can get that Nyx Dragon.
Yeah, this game is all over the place, and I love it.
And we said it in the pregame, this would be a close game. Both teams looking to try and win this, even though Vengeful Reapers is not able to get that 4th place. They can still mess up other teams' days. They've started up the Baron here, and Rinks using the teleport will get into the pit. Alpaz taking a lot of damage here as he went in, and Rinks now potentially going down. He's tanky, but even a tanky Maokai cannot survive 5 people. They're turning it back around. They're trying to burn this Baron down. Baron is down to 1,000 health. Can they do it? Yes, barely dropped to 5 health under Louisville Gent's bullet time there, but they will manage to get it. Now, Jay Delian gonna go down here, trying to buy time for the rest of the team to disengage, but a flash cataclysm from GTH will catch Imagines, forcing him to flash out as well. That's a 1-for-1 and Baron over to Vengeful Reapers.
Wow, that I'm definitely gonna give it to Louisville. Like, that was a very good steal attempt. It was so close.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Jason held on to his smite a little too long there, almost lost it. Ace in the hole coming out, not doing much damage at this point to non-stop Brain here.
And a scary thing for Shadowkeepers is not only did Reapers get the Baron, but that huge bounty went over to Ziggs.
Yeah, so Ziggs already hitting like a truck. 1 ultimate is enough to half health GTH there. And now, you know, they gave him even more gold. He does have his Zonias complete now, so hopefully we'll be able to survive those dives from GTH and Alpaz, survive those bullet times from Louisville Gent. And if he's surviving, he's going to be able to output that damage. Caitlyn also went an interesting build here with the Ninja Tabbies instead of Zerker's Greaves, but Caitlyn does put out a lot of damage regardless towards the late game once she starts getting those items. Has the IE, has the Storm Razor, has the Rapid Fire Cannon there, and will begin skilling up. So even if Ziggs can't take people down, the Caitlyn certainly can.
Right. And the interesting thing right now with Ziggs' build is it's very flexible. Right now he has the option to either go into Void Staff, Morel Namaton, or
Alpaz just bursting down Trujillo. That Trujillo didn't get the riposte off. Will get bursted down. One person we haven't mentioned is Alpaz, 8-0-4, and meanwhile in the bot lane, non-stop Brain going down once more to the bomb of Ziggs, but Alpaz has arrived. 8-0-4, will try to get him down shot, but the Zonia is saving Fezifez perfectly there. Alpaz did not have the Chrono Break available, did use it previously, will go down, so now it's Rinks trying to hold a turret against 4 people, but we've seen this before. He did not survive the last time, and he will not survive this time. Will pick up Fezifez on the back end, but they will lose the inhibitor turret, and potentially the inhib here as Imagine's using the range there with Glacial ult from Jason KB. Will let Louisville Gent survive to fight another day. Now they're rotating straight to the mid lane. Don't have minions there. We'll have to be careful as GTH just cataclysms, and we do see Imagine's getting stuck in there, but it'll be Jade Deleon going down as he was the one tanking up the turret. Imagine's looking to pick up the return kill. Can he do it? Yes, he can. The Piltover Peacemaker just barely tapping GTH, and now they will get the 3rd inhibitor turret. So that's all the turrets outside of the Nexus turrets down now. The inhibs bot lane down, mid lane soon to go down, and True Hero teleporting will pick up that 3rd inhib in the top lane. SK's base is completely open now.
Man, and Dragon is about to come up. So, I mean, they should already be having supers pushing into bot lane now for them to deal with, and in about half a minute to a minute, they'll have supers in all 3 lanes coming in. Yep. And with Soul Point coming up, it's like, how do you stop this? I can't think of a way. Like, I don't think they have the wave clear right now. If Morg was a little bit farther ahead, I think they would have an easier time of doing so. But at this point, it's looking bleak. It's looking really bad.
Definitely here, and as you said, you know, they will have the super minions pushing in just as Dragon spawns here, so every lane will have to be pushed out. We do see Louisville in the top lane there, trying to push that out. She doesn't have teleport, won't be able to join the rest of the fight. Alpez now looking for Fezzy Fez, will catch him, 100-0 in like a second there.
Jeez, that was disgusting.
And the chrono break will get him out to safety. GTH now going in, but he's too late. Soul Point will go over to the side of Vengeful Reapers, and he will have just gone in to his death here now. Jason KB looking to pick up some more kills. We do see the Shurelius coming out of non-stop brain, but it will not be enough. The Righteous Glory from Jason KB to match that. That is a 2-for-1 trade here on the side of Vengeful Reapers. They've got the lead now. They're going into the base. They've got supers in every lane, double supers even, because they have all the inhibs down. Bullet Time coming across will only really tag Jdelian and Jason KB, the two tanks, not who they wanted to get. Imagine's now trying to put out the damage. Jdelian using his body to block the roots from Maokai. Now Alpaz gonna go in and try to pick up a kill. And he will pick up the kill onto Jdelian there, but Rinks taking a lot of punishment for it. Kate is hitting that point where she can just pew pew from the back and do tons of damage. Alpaz doesn't have the chrono bake, will go down. Now Louisville Gent stepping out a little too far, will also get sniped down. GTH has respawned, only one on the map here. Can he pick up Imagine's? Maybe not. The stopwatch there from Imagines to keep himself safe, and it looks like that will be game in a 41-minute back and forth monster of a game here. Congratulations to Vengeful Reaper as they pick up their first win in the league.
Yeah, that was definitely a very, very well played game by both teams. I think this could potentially be the longest game so far in the league. So I think this was great. This was just like hats off to you guys. Good game.
Yeah, definitely a fun game here, and we will be heading into an intermission break, and then we will be coming back right after this game with, I believe it's VGR versus Vengeful Reapers against, let me take a quick look here, it will be against Roar Rampage after this, so they'll be facing yet another top of the table team. So we'll see you guys shortly after this intermission break.